Living with your parents in your 20s.
If you're in your 20s still living with your parents, you're a f***ing loser.
What did he say fuck me for?
No motion, no money, and especially
I
no
thought you had to have money.
bitches.
Alright, you're right. I don't got no money, no bitches, bro. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I used to think when I was a kid. I saw these movies and people on social media live out their
Okay.
lives after moving to their own place. I know it was very common in the old days and for the older generations to move out of the house very early. Like once you turn 18 and you're a legal adult, you go off on your own and buy a home for the cost of a McChicken. Back then, living on your own was a sign of being independent and having freedom. It was a standard. So for the ones who didn't move out, it was like there was something wrong with them. But
How old do you think this guy is, bro?
But fast forward today, yeah, that's just not happening. The more I grew up, the more I realized that moving out isn't as easy as how people made it seem. With the economic state of the world, it's not realistic for someone to have their own place that young. Especially when you're like 18. Bro, you just got out of high school. You probably didn't work your entire life, and if you did, it was part-time at McDonald's or something. And even in your early 20s, most people just graduated college and have a ton of debt to pay off. So adding the cost of rent on top of that is just gonna be another financial drainage. Either that or you barely started your career and have a little amount of savings, which won't be enough to buy yourself a home, that's for sure. The idea of getting your own place was kind of like a dream that I couldn't experience, at least when it came to my situation. Because after high school, a good amount of people still move out of their parents' home for college. They'll be out living in dorms, in a new environment. There's tons of events going on in a new city, and they're surrounded by people their own age too. It's exciting, it's fun, it's new. And after living in a bubble with your parents your whole life, that is the first thrill you get when you move to a new place. But meanwhile, I didn't dorm out. Tuition was already expensive and I wasn't gonna pile on the cost of living on my own. And without any financial aid, the full price of a college dorm is close to $1,300 a month. And you're stuck with a roommate in a shared tiny room. So I didn't find it to be worth it, and I was a commuter to my local university. But not gonna lie, when I saw my mutuals post on
you can still go to university in a big 2026? I swear to God, I believe that's the worst waste of time ever, bro. Like I got my little bro, he's right now in university. And right now he's in the second month. In the first month of his university, they was learning English, man. Verb to be, verb to see. Imagine. So basically, university is a big scam. Nobody goes there to learn. They just go there, to spend their time, be with the homies. But when you try to sit down and analyze, what am I learning?
Social media about their college life and being in a new city, I would get some FOMO. Cause you see these people having the time of their lives, making a bunch of friends while you're still at home with parents. You wake up in the morning and you see mama and papa there, feeling stuck in the same place while you're watching others progress. There isn't anything wrong with living with parents, but there's just some things that you can't do around them. Like sometimes you want to bring your friends over to hang out and party. You can't do that with mom and dad around. Want to bring your girlfriend or boyfriend over? No privacy. You gotta be careful on what you talk about on the phone because your parents might be listening in. Even with stricter parents.
This guy is saying, oh, my situation right here, bro. That's my life. This is how I'm living. Can't bring a bitch, man. Insane.
Some people have curfews, which is kind of crazy if you're in your 20s. There's this app called Life 360, and it's kind of like sharing your location, except on steroids. Because not only do you know where a person is located, you get notifications of the extra details, like when they arrived at this address, how long they stayed at this address for, how fast they were driving. One of my friends has that type of relationship with their mom, and when I hear about it, it sounds like they're a dog on a leash. This is definitely the reason for what drives their son or daughter away from the house, when they're so controlled to the point they don't find it worth it to be living under the same household. I'm not in that situation personally. Obviously, living with parents comes with some restrictions, but it's not to the point where it's toxic and I feel like I have to move out. But after seeing both sides,
I want to move on though. I can feel inside of my heart. I'm like, bro, let me get the fuck out. That's how I'm feeling, but the money wise is kind of still complicated, but I'm gonna try to start something new, bro. See where it can take me.
Being a person who stayed home and also seeing friends getting their own place, they both come with pros and cons. These are the trends I noticed. The biggest one being the financial benefit. Whoever stayed living at home typically had more savings than those who moved out. When I asked my friends to go on a trip, the ones who live in dorms have a way smaller budget than those who didn't. And it makes sense because they're the ones who have to shell out a couple $1,000s in rent every month. The ones who didn't pay rent, they could use their savings to go on vacations and splurge if they wanted to. It's like an unpatched method. Live with your parents to pay little to no rent and use that extra cash to go on your vacation.
And also pay little to no food.
Living at home also gives you more free time too. Back in college, I was extremely locked in. I was working 2 jobs, full-time in school, at my prime in the gym, bench 225 at 130 pounds, you know what I'm saying? I fell off now, but a huge contribution to me being able to do all that was because I had the luxury of other responsibilities taken off my hands. I came home from an 8-hour shift and a meal was prepared by my mom. And because I didn't have to deal with the everyday—
I gotta slide the Indian food, my brain.
chores like laundry, dishes, cooking meals that opened up my schedule to be more productive on other things. Now that I think about it, I would be broke as hell if I had my own apartment. Because not only would I be working less hours because I would spend time doing household chores, but every penny I earned working would have to be used for rent. I would be in a cycle of brokenness, like I would be working all these hours just to pay for my living expenses and going back to $0. The benefit of additional time and saving money is phenomenal. Do you think I could—
That's so-called slavery. Slavery, bro. That's what it is.
have uploaded 40 plus videos this year if I lived by myself? Absolutely not. By the way, like and subscribe. We're almost at 30K and I would really appreciate it if you click those two buttons right there.
Yo, chat. Give me a sub, man. Please, give me a sub, bro. Oh, I already gave you both, man. You know, do the same for me. Please.
On the other hand, people who moved out are more independent. Living on your own shapes you to be someone else and you'll grow in a way that wouldn't be possible with your parents' support.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is something new, bro. That's visible to everybody.
No one's there to hold your hand anymore. And when you remove that security blanket, you become self-reliant. By managing your own expenses, learning to take care of yourself on your own, you evolve. For example, one of my friends could not cook if his life depended on it. One time he served me bacon like this. Them shits was still oinking. And ever since he moved out, he had to buy his own groceries, prepare his own meals, and his cooking has actually been pretty good. I'm willing to bet that if this person was thrown in a random city with no connections, they'll be able to figure out how to adapt. And I'm sure that gives you confidence because you can navigate your life through unknown situations. Being out on your own also forces you to talk to people. If you're in a new area full of strangers, you'll eventually venture out to make friends. When you're out exploring the city, you'll probably bump into the people that share the same interests and become very close friends with them. And now your connections expanded from just your hometown. At the same time though, for the ones who stayed in their hometown, I feel like the closeness of old friends grew even stronger. Regardless of what social media makes it seem, the majority of people stay with their family even after high school graduation, and because of that, I was able to bond more with the friends I already had. A lot of my closest friends are like 6-7 year relationships that I met from high school, and I don't think I would be as close to them if I moved somewhere else. When it comes to people who are in like a toxic, controlling household, the ones that move out seem to be in a better relationship with their family. You know the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder? I think in a platonic sense, your parents get used to you not being around the house as often, and they start lessening their control towards you. They see how you're fine on your own and give you more freedom, and hopefully that makes your family get along better. I just wanted to call out the differences between living on your own versus with parents. I know it's easy to get blindsided when you're watching other peers. You're gonna compare yourself with things you don't have.
Hear me out. Comparison is a thief of joy. If you make it so, bro, you may see other people get inspired, or you may see other people get jealous, for sure.
But the reality is, both have their own blessings and benefits, and both have their own problems.
Yes. Everyone got their benefits, and also their blessings, and also their curse, bro. There's one rapper in my country. I'm gonna give him a shout out. His name is Fireman, bro. They asked him, because there was in a group like 5 guys, and one guy blew up before at the fall, and they were like, yo, Fireman, like, this guy blew up. His name is J Potty. Rest in peace to him. Yo, Fireman, J Potty's right now trending. He's the #1 artist in the country. He blew up. You guys still down. Do you sometimes get jealousy for him? You know what Fireman said? He was like, I can never wish for somebody blessings when I don't know the curses they have, bro. And bro, when I remember that shit stuck with me. He said that shit like 2012. You can never wish for somebody's blessings, bro. You don't know what they go through. I've been seeing some girls, since those are OnlyFans, those slay queens, posting a lot of pictures naked in bikinis and stuff. Girls, they'll be like, oh, this girl's living good life. She's going to Dubai. She's chilling in Dubai. She's getting flown onto all these places because she's fine and she got a fag yacht and everything. Do you know what she goes through? There's like this documentary which was done showing what happened to women when they go to Dubai, bro. They get fucked by dogs. D-O-G. Dogs fuck women. They shit on them. They pee on them. So when the girls see that, they're trying to get the benefit, but they don't know the curse, bro. It's a gift and curse, bro. I had to rant a bit, for sure.
Thumbs up to this video.
Finally, my own apartment. Oh man, this is great.
I'm moving out of the parents' house, be like,
quiet. Hello to my new life. Oh man, it is so nice not being around my parents or my siblings. And it's great not having to wake up to a vacuum cleaner or dishes being slammed around at 7 a.m. Honestly though, I am kind of lonely. It's so weird, I don't have anyone to hang out with. Man, I really wish my mom was here to cook for me. Hey mom, I miss you. Oh my gosh, there's so many dishes. How am I supposed to pay this bill?
But going back to our main topic, if you are in your 20s living with parents, that's okay. But if you do decide to move out, that decision shouldn't stem from societal pressure. It shouldn't be like, oh, everybody else is moving out in their 20s, so I should too. No, it should depend on what you're trying to accomplish for the next few years in your life. If you want to be in a brand new environment, venture out, gain some independence, and meet new people, you might want to consider living on your own. If you want to save as much money as you can for your future, it might be a better idea to stay at home.
Facts.
Nowadays, you really got to consider the financial aspect of it though, because we already know the cost of living and rent is atrocious.
Have you seen how much apartments cost? I'm not gonna lie, if you a grown-ass man and you still living with your mother,
Nigga, stay there.
So you have to think about the trade-offs to even afford it. It might come with having a roommate, a smaller room, living in a dangerous neighborhood. Regardless, if you find moving out to be worth it, that is ultimately your decision.
Chad, what is the most dangerous place you guys ever been, bro?
Unless you got kicked out of the house the moment you turn 18, but that's a topic for another video. I do have to say though, when you're an adult living with your parents, it's easy to fall into being babied. And what I mean by that is that you might still get treated like a 13-year-old even when you're 25. And I think you should be aware that living in this bubble with the comfort of your parents' support should not be a permanent thing. No matter what, you are still relying on them, which is okay, but have a plan. You should not be depending on your parents forever. That's how this whole stigmatism was created, where you're that guy living in their mother's basement and incapable of moving out. And I said incapable, because there's a difference between having the full capability to move out but choosing to stay, versus having no other choice but to stay. American culture does make it look down upon for living with your parents in your 20s, and I feel like a lot of people get insecure when they share that their home life is with their mom and dad, but I also feel like that's when you're dependent on them. If you're
when I think about myself, I think about my life, I really think like going to an apartment which will cost me like $500 a month in my country, which is everywhere. I believe I'll have a good life, bro. I believe my life will be good. I believe that's what I need, bro. So basically right now, for me to move out, I need at least $1,000 a month, bro. So I need to find like a job which can pay me something. And yeah, maybe I can do something like that, bro. Indeed.
Financially stable, happy, confident in your life, you wouldn't be ashamed about living with them because you have the ability to move out on your own. But even if you aren't at that stage, if you're working towards something and have a plan, you're fine as long as you're not like leeching off like a bum. Anyway, like and subscribe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm streaming though. I'm streaming, but streaming is the hardest thing I ever seen, bro. If you guys ever see a streamer who made it, you gotta give them props, man. Bro, to blow up as a streamer, it's hard, bro. It doesn't require for you to be a good streamer. It doesn't require for you to be funny as fuck. It's just luck. There's a lot of good streamers I know, including me. I'm a fucking good streamer. But it's just hard, bro. Oh my god.